Whatever.
No quarter!
I just figured the way that we would go into this would be to just fucking light. You see that flickering?
I did see a flicker, yep.
I figured, damn it. This is a piece of shit light. I need to get a new one.
Yeah, I see it kind of flickering back there.
It's all
right. We got the keys to the house today. I'm going to start moving stuff in. Still not sure where my office is going to be at this point because I'm letting Jess take priority since she works full-time at home. So I'm going to let her choose.
Well, that's very sweet of you. Let's see if this...
It just makes sense. She has a lot of meetings too, so...
It's also very thoughtful of you.
You know what? I'm just
there we go.
The best
That's
husband
not bad,
ever.
Right?
No, that looks good.
It's natural light coming in.
It still looks better than mine.
Except I look like really tan. It's bizarre.
You do look tan. It's funny.
I don't think I am.
You haven't been using the tanning boots at
that's what it looks like.
Planet Fitness or something?
No. Yeah, anyways, as far as us having a guest on today, I figured we would just talk a little bit. And, I don't have any plans for our discussion with our guest. However, I do expect things may become a little political, which I'm totally okay with.
Totally potential. We've
stayed away from we've stayed away from the subject for so long. I'm good jumping back in. I just don't want our show to 24/7 be a political show. But
no, totally, I agree.
Yeah.
I do think I don't think he necessarily wants to do it either. There are things that I talked to him today because I wanted to make sure that everything was set up with his camera and his mic, and of course there was some troubleshooting we had to figure out, and now he's good to go. And then I reminded of some stuff that he had said he might want to talk about in the past. And then I have an idea of something I want him to ask. He has a very incredible story that I'm not going to spoil, but I think it'd be worth him sharing on here.
Then I'm going to do a very different maneuver here, and I'm going to let you take the reins on how we kind of frame and interview this person, because you know him much better than I do. I just know him through stories, and I think one time when I was little, he was visiting your house because he was already an adult by then, and he had brought over some of his guns, and I think we went out in the yard and shot his awesome shotgun, and that's basically the extent of what I know about him.
Did he have the Desert Eagle then?
I don't remember. I just remember you bringing out a shotgun with slugs or something in it, and you shot it in the yard. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome. That is cool.
Yeah, so
what do you want to do? We can have him jump in.
You want him to jump in now, or
fire? I mean, I don't know. Fire away. I told him between, when we started in 30 minutes or whatever.
Well, if he's just sitting there waiting, we may as well have him on, not have him sit on his computer doing nothing.
All right, I'm gonna tell him.
Do you know how to get him into the room, or do I have to do it?
I gave him the link earlier. That's how we tested it, was through actually the Riverside.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just to make sure, when he came in, the audio was good, the visuals were, or the video was good, so
was workable. Yeah.
Yep.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So we'll see when he comes in, when he sees that. It's been crazy. We haven't been able to record for a while just because we've been...
you had your kids visiting, and you've got
they're
house.
Still here. Yeah, the house thing. Here he comes.
Oh.
All right.
Hold on.
This is apparently Captain Peg Leg, if you can see the name down below. This is my oldest brother, Joe. He spent 7 years in infantry, split between the Army and the Marines before he was hit by an IED, where he was awarded a Purple Heart for. And now he's an FAA 107 drone operator. And we've decided to have him in because he's got passion and topics, and we're super excited to have you. Joseph
Very
Bartel.
Hey.
Trying to get my boy Bruce Willis in there. There we go.
Right
This
on.
room Joe is in is super 80s themed. I got to visit him back in June, and it's
right
pretty
behind
sweet
me,
with all
Mad
those
Max.
lots of good stuff going on there.
So,
Well,
Joe was
super
one of
excited
our
to have you.
first. He was one of our first feedbacks that we got about the show from some of our earlier stuff we were talking about.
Yeah, he's a longtime listener, first time
First time guest.
joiner.
Yeah.
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 So super happy to have you, Joe. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, sure.
I was thinking about I know there's some things that we had discussed that we might want to talk about, but I was wondering if and I thought about this way after you and I talked earlier today. I was wondering if you would just quickly share the story of the day of you were hit by the IED and the message that you felt like you received and shared with the rest of your squad.
Oh, the spiritual side of it.
Yeah, it's pretty moving.
Yeah, it's one of the things that really made my faith unshakable. And to tell you the truth, I don't remember much of it. A lot of this was told to me by the guys that were with me. I remember very little because I ended up in a coma. I was in a coma for a solid week. And but what happened was what I do remember, I was in the back of a Bradley. It's called a Bradley. It's an armored vehicle. People call it a tank, but it's not classified as a tank. It's a armored infantry fighting vehicle. And I was a dismount for a third ID in the Army at this time. And we were at the southern tip of the what was called the Sunni Triangle. The news liked to call it the Triangle of Death because it was at that time the most dangerous area in Iraq because it was untouched by U.S. and coalition forces for several years, for a few years. A lot of IED makers and a lot of insurgencies pretty much hold up in this area. And I also remember before we deployed, we had a giant battalion briefing before we left, and they told us that we were expecting over 50% casualties in a 15-month deployment
Holy crap.
because of where we were. And while we were there, a lot of people went out almost every day. You know, one company of people would leave the FOB, which is a forward operating base. You know, they would leave to do their rounds, and then they would come back missing one or two guys. But when I say missing, not like left behind, but no longer with us. And then, so, but just to give you a background on what, you know, how bad the area was. And so the day before we left on our patrol, we had a topic going around, a discussion. What body part can you live without, and what body part can't you if you were to get hit by a bomb? It came to me, and I said, well, I can't live without my eyes, you know. Being blind, I'd rather be dead. And he said, all right, well, what can you go without? I said, oh, hell, take a leg. And a couple days later.
That's true. That really happened?
Yeah.
That's insane.
How
But,
many guys said they couldn't live without their penis?
yeah, I'm like, yeah, that would also suck, but I don't know, man. Like, just the whole thing about being blind, like, that's
Yeah.
scary. But so when we went out, um, we would do shifts. You know, half the platoon would be out in this temporary observation post, you know, for a few days, and then we'd go back to the main fob, take a few days off, while the other half would come in and uh, be in that temporary post. So we would, you know, take shifts because we would go out for a few days and clear house by house by house. We would clear everything because in this part of the operation, our job was to push the insurgency out permanently. So it would start in one area and it would expand, and we would keep kicking them out. Um, so by that time, at the end of our 3 days, we were on our way back to the fob. And it was in the middle of summer in Iraq, so it was about 125 plus degrees outside, and you're wearing all of that crap. You know, you're wearing, you know, the vest, you know, full battle rattle, which is like all the ammunition, all the equipment, your assault bag, all of it. So add that with the heat, and then being inside the back of a Bradley packed full of other dudes. It was like a sausage fest, you know, like just packed full of dudes,
Sweaty
man.
sausage
And,
fest.
you know, add another 20 degrees to that. Um, I mean, I remember it was so hot, you know, you take your helmet off and the sweat just comes all the way down. It's gross. So we kind of break a rule, you know, sometimes when we're in the back of a Bradley, and that's we take our helmet off and undo our vest because I mean it's hot as hell. And I remember sitting there and I'm just dying of heat, and I felt him, uh, his presence. You know, I've always been a believer for a long time. You know Eric Martin, right? I mean, I remember you. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eric Martin and Stephen Hatfield, they were the first ones to invite me to this church that I used to go to all the time. And that was kind of
And
the
you would take
beginning
us too.
of my walk with God, you know. And anyways, so I'm sitting there hot, it's sweaty, and I hear him and he says, "Put everything back on." And I'm like, okay, am I delusional? Like it wasn't as much audible as I felt him say it. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm gonna die, just let me die comfortably. I really don't wanna put it back on. And he said, and again, you know, put everything back on and tell everyone to do the same now. So I put everything on. Mark, you met Roby, right? I think you did.
Yep, he was in the hospital with you.
Yep. Um, he asked me, "Hey, Sergeant, what are you doing?" And I said, "Everybody put your crap back on now." And then he goes, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I fucking told you, Roby, put your shit on now." And he's like, "Roger that. All right." And we put everything on, and that was the very last thing I remember. The next
Oh
thing I
my gosh.
remember is waking. I had a brief moment on my way to Walter Reed in DC where I did wake
You
up.
never woke up in Germany, right? Because they sent you to Germany first, right?
They sent me to BIOP, which is the Baghdad International Airport.
Oh, you didn't go to Germany. Okay.
Well, that was for the initial surgery because they had to do something right away.
Oh,
And
sure.
then they sent me to Germany to be stabilized. And then, to keep me clean, stabilized, waiting for my flight to DC. And, and then I think it was on my way to DC, I did wake up briefly. And I, there was this female, she was a lieutenant. I wake up and I thought I was back in our barracks in Iraq. I thought I was waking up panicking because I thought I overslept and I was late for formation. As in, oh great, I'm going to get my ass chewed out. I knew nothing about the blast. Absolutely nothing. I knew nothing about where I was at when it happened or what happened after or before. So that part of my mind was completely blocked out. So I woke up and I just see a woman, a female lieutenant, pretty cute. And I go, what the hell are you doing in an infantry barracks? And so and she's an officer too. And I'm like, what? I'm like, ma'am, what the hell are you doing? This is an infantry barracks. Why are you sitting on my bed? And, and she goes, Sergeant, you need to calm down. You were just in an IED blast. I'm like, quit screwing around with me, lady. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I haven't even gone out yet. And I tried getting up and I was strapped to like a gurney or a bed. I don't remember. And she goes, you need to relax. You can't get up. And I really felt like I couldn't get up because the bottom part of my spine was fractured as well. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And she goes, you lost half of your left leg. And I rose my head up and looked down and lift my leg up. And then that's when I saw a bloody ass stump. And I freaked out. I freaked out. I started screaming. I was yelling. I was pissed. They took a couple of dudes to like jump over and hold me down, and then they stuck me with the drug and put me back to sleep. So I woke up going into Walter Reed, and the one thing I remember, it was a doctor, and he said, "You're lucky to be alive, because your head received so much trauma. If you didn't have your helmet on, you probably wouldn't have a head on you." Because what happened was, I don't know where the pictures were, but the IED that went up from underneath, it's called it's kind of like a directional shape charge. So the blast would come up, straight up. It was designed to shoot straight up. And it shot a hole through the Bradley and pretty much directly underneath my ass. And it shot me up, and my head bashed up against, there's like these containers back above my head behind me, and my head slammed into it and put me out. And yeah, it would have split my head open if I didn't have my helmet on. So that's why, like, my faith, and I got Jerusalem crossings on my shoulders, you know. That's why, like, my faith is pretty strong because of what I experienced, where he did save my life. If that didn't happen, I would have kept everything off, and if I kept
I,
everything
I
off, I wouldn't be here.
I think you're underplaying your faith when you say it's pretty strong, because you are the most knowledgeable Christian I know, and
Well,
you always do your best to follow this scripture, and I know you don't always like that. Yeah, you're like, I'm not that good. I know
Yeah,
you.
I really
Yeah,
ain't,
I see
man.
you shaking your
Let
head.
me tell you, nah, not even that, man. I am no saint, you know. You spend 2
Well, none
minutes
of
with
us
my
are.
wife, and she'll be like, "Gosh, he's sometimes he's a dickhead sometimes." But yeah, no,
That's when you get to blame the brain injury.
yeah,
So
it's the head injury's fault.
the extent of your injuries it's more than just you lost your leg. You also have a bunch of pins and rods in your legs and ankles, and don't you have a metal plate in your face?
Yep, yeah, all over
Yeah,
my face. I have metal all over my face. I had to have a facial reconstruction. I still have the uh the X-rays somewhere, but
that'd be
you know,
cool to
you
see.
see the skull and it's like held together.
That would be
So
really cool to see. In fact, if you find it
I can
soon,
I can put them in the
we'd
video if
love
we
to
get them.
post it in
Yeah.
here just to show people. In fact, if you want, go ahead and take your leg off and show everybody your leg.
the-
We ain't messing around. This isn't a
Yeah,
joke. This is a
isn't
real story.
bullshit. Yeah. That's just so fascinating to me though. Like I'm very curious because you come out of it and it's your faith is strengthened, and I feel like this is a thing a lot of people who are on the verge of being religious struggle with is it's like what happened to you was really like it wasn't a good thing, but there was a good side of it. So like I have a hard time. It's hard to you came out of it with such a positive perspective. You know, what is why I guess.
uh, well, I mean, a lot of people fail to realize that biblically, you know, being a believer isn't like a white picket fence and flowers and you know a hill on top of a freaking or a house on top of a hill. You know, it's the hardest lifestyle in the world, in my opinion. And the thing that makes me think about my what I went through and what other guys I know went through. There's a book called Job, the book of Job in the Bible. Supposedly, what scholars say that was the very first book written in the Bible, even though it's not in order. It's not before Genesis, right? But Job was described by God as a perfect and upright man who fled from evil. And in one day, Satan wanted to tempt him to get him to curse God. And so God said, "That's okay, fine, but don't harm a hair on his head." And Satan said, "Okay, I'll make him curse you this day." And so Satan goes down, takes his wealth, pretty much his property, his livestock, um, his children, had all of his children killed all in one day. And Job, wondering as he was a faithful man, uh, got on his knees and cried to God and said, "The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. You know, from dust I have been made, from dust I will leave the earth." And he stayed faithful to God um, throughout everything, even when he received boils from head to toe, open sores from head to toe. He stayed loyal to God. And even though he questioned God, he still stayed faithful to him and never cursed him. You know, you have a lot of people in the Bible that have been through really hard times, including in the New Testament. You know, the disciples of Christ were hunted down, fled, or they fled because they were being persecuted, thrown in prison, one of them stoned to death, and they still stayed faithful. And in fact, today, if you look at some countries like China or the Middle East, Christianity is actually growing. And the more they find that the more that they get persecuted, the more faithful they are. They don't back down or cower. It seems like more and more come out of the woodwork. And so I guess it's really rough times that strengthens faith. I mean, that's to me, that's what happened because I see it as this, man. I lived, I got to raise my kids. When I went through a divorce, I got to keep my kids. Like, how many divorced dudes do you know get to keep their kids? Um, it's hard. And I got a good house, a great house that was blessed to me for free.
Yeah,
I have
yeah. So
more
Bass Pro Shop,
bathrooms.
right?
Huh?
Bass Pro Shop,
Yep.
they awarded you this house and that
Yep.
property,
Bass
and
Pro,
among
the
other
dude, the
things.
owner, I met the owner, and the
That's
dude
Yeah.
crazy.
bought me this house that has more bathrooms than most people have bedrooms. And so 3,300 square feet, right
Holy
next
cow.
right next to the PGA golf headquarters.
Yeah.
So
Or one of the biggest courses. Yeah. Pinehurst. Shout out.
yep.
Sponsor. Joking.
And
But I always told you, Joe, obviously nobody knows this here but me, but you obviously you don't love that attention and recognition, even though I've always told you you super deserve it for everything, and your faith in God, I think, has just been a huge contributor to some of that, and I'll say it now, you deserve it, man, and I'm super happy you have that, and you're blessed to get all that.
thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, see, hear that? Thanks. He's like, shut up, idiot, freaking loser.
No, but I love your and the reason why I like your guys's cast is you guys promote critical thinking, individual thinking. And I think that's something a lot of people today lack. They get on their Instagram, Facebook, whatever, TikTok, and they listen to these Hollywood elite idiots, who know nothing about reality, preach about stolen land when they're living on stolen land. What was that? What was her name? Did you guys see
Oh,
that?
was it Billie Eilish?
Yeah, Billie
Yeah,
Eilish.
Billie Eilish. Yeah,
They
yeah.
petitioned it. They were trying to get her to give it up afterwards.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you
Dummy.
know, and instead of listening to the mainstream news, do your own individual, investigative work. You know, and
Yeah.
you guys bring that up. Like you brought things up like that. I'm like, that's good.
Yeah, I feel like young kids are just so interested in being cool and being in with the in crowd that think and then they have this idea that if you have any conservative views, you're automatically some like, you
Nazi.
know, yeah, Nazi idiot,
Mhm.
like just the opposite of cool. And it's like I feel like we're pretty cool dudes, right? We're pretty current and into pop culture kind of, but at the same time, like I don't just want to be told what to think. Like obviously
We're
I don't
also,
agree with all that stuff.
we're accepting of people different from us, and that's where the difference really is. We can accept people for having different opinions. Everybody's shaped one way, and in different forms based off of their, what their reality is, and that's okay. We might not agree with it, and that's okay. But at least we still accept you as a freaking human, unlike a lot of other, unlike the flip side.
Well, it's a fascinating time to like be into all this stuff because I don't think the groupthink has ever been, at least in my life, it's never been as strong as it is now. Like we have such a good like case study for us to dissect and pick apart every day because we see this new thing every day where people are just being so counterintuitive. There's no intelligent thought going on, and we have so many. Like COVID was a good example of that. I've just
Yeah.
never seen such a good representation that we can study and be like, that's so clearly wrong. Like, what is going on here?
And
Yeah.
those people don't admit it now. They won't admit that it was wrong.
Yeah,
There's people
and
out
the
there that are
evidence just
still
stacks up against them, more and more things where it's like they're wrong, they're
yeah.
lying, all this stuff. It's what's
Yeah.
pushing people back towards religion, I think. Is even in my case, I wasn't like the most strongest faithful Christian person, but I've if if y- like what we've been witnessing seems like biblical evil, like what they wrote about that I would have never believed was real until we are in this last 10 years, and it's like transing kids and crazy shit like that. It's like, okay, I believe it now. Like, you
Yep.
know,
Yeah, it's y I think the beginning of COVID was a huge turning point, a tip of the scales. I would say I think what sparked the big changes in America was right after 9/11. Right
mm,
after 9/11, things went a million miles an hour to a completely different direction, from politics, culture, um, and we see a lot of good things happening, but as well as a lot of bad things. And some of those good things, you brought it up. There is a spike of church attendance in young males, a
mm,
big spike, mainly after COVID. And it grew even more after Charlie Kirk's
Charlie Kirk, yeah.
yeah,
That's right.
assassination. And that's the other point right there, right? It's these hard times that spike faith up, not down.
mm,
And I'll admit it, I think it's when you're becoming complacent is when your faith kind of takes a slump. So, um,
yeah.
these rough times and trials, that's what brings it, that's what pumps it up.
Yeah, we can all get by on almost like a artificial form of religion, in the good times when you're just watching movies and everything's kind of happy go lucky. But as soon as things get rough, it definitely, you don't have any anchor, you don't have any direction. Especially they chip away at it more and more. It's like, what am I even supposed to be or do? Like, it's so wrong what they're telling us we're supposed to be nowadays.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, it's evil. It's like it's true evil.
yeah, um, but, you do see it. I mean, like, right now, uh, one of my sons, so I have 2 sons that are, active duty. Their duty stations in Japan. One of them is on the most talked about ship right now. That's all over the news, the USS Tripoli, which is headed towards the Strait in Iran. So my son is on that. One of my sons is on that mini carrier, and he's on a ship full of MEU guys, Marine Expeditionary Unit. So he's on an amphibious naval ship, packed full of other jarheads, and I've been sweating bullets. Um, this is nothing that I wanted for my kids. I begged and pleaded with both of them. Whatever you do, don't join the Marine Corps, don't join the Army, don't be a friggin' trigger puller. Um, just
So they
if you're
joined the
gonna,
Navy.
yeah, well, yeah, Air Force, Navy, whatever. Which, funny enough, are the two most used freaking things right now.
Yeah,
That's
that
And
so
makes sense.
crazy.
my because my thinking on that time was GWAT, GWAT being Global War on Terror. The stuff that I was in. I wasn't thinking of conventional warfare. And if I was, I would have said, you know what? Go to fucking college. I'm sorry. Go to
No,
college
yeah,
or
oh
something,
yeah, like we don't
you
Oh,
curse
know,
on here.
we've been, yeah. That's
and
that's yeah.
s- eh,
Yeah.
and the thing I'm upset, man, because my oldest, he joined when Biden was running, and everything was Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine, Russia.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh gosh," like, I
Gonna get shipped off to Ukraine.
I'm like, I don't want this," you know? And then I was so I really don't care. Unapologetically, I voted for Trump third time, and I'll tell you why, because my thinking was, well, his first term, he didn't start any other wars. And
No, Nobel Peace Prize worthy thing.
yeah, and
Yep.
now it's like, what the hell? You
We
know?
feel the same
I
way.
was gonna ask if we were gonna jump into this because I was curious of your opinion. So here we go.
Well, it's again, this is like, see, this is another one of those like couch quarterback situations, you know. So I still know guys that are active duty. Some of them special forces, because I live right next to Bragg, Fort Bragg. Um, you know, some of them JSOC, some of them, you know, some of these other dudes. And I even asked, you know, our brother who was Navy, right? And I asked another guy, and I just wanted someone to give me some comfort. I was like, "Please tell me our ships are untouchable." And they're both like, one of them, he's all like, "Well," he's like, "We do have like the better Navy," and we do. We do. Like, I'm very critical of our military, but when it comes to our Navy, we have the best Navy in the world. Like, that I don't give a damn what they say about China. You know, China's little future warships keep failing tests, and they're just crappy junk boats. Really, they're over a decade behind us. On top of that, China's never been in a war.
Hmm.
When was the
Is
last
that
time
right?
we fought in a friggin' war? So,
We're pretty much pros over here.
yeah, 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 we're
Yeah.
pretty much the experts,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, um, yeah, I was told, "Look, man, like, he's gonna be fine. Like, these naval ships are destroyed. Like, they're untouchable." And apparently, Iran was trying to put out that one of our ships was destroyed, and I'm all like, "What?" I think they said it was Abraham Lincoln, USS Lincoln, and we're all like, "No, it's not." Like, you know,
Well, that was
they
my
were trying
question.
to
It's
put
so
out
hard to
propaganda, huh?
Yeah, it's so hard to tell what's actually even going on over there. I think me and Mark were talking about this the other day where there's all this, they killed BB stuff and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like Iran is trying to run propaganda so hard, overcompensating. And I feel like regardless of your opinion, what it seems like to me is Iran is the inferior military and they're kind of getting their
Of
ass
course they
whipped.
are. Of course
Very,
they are.
very
It's not even
inferior.
Yeah.
but the
They're
BB thing is
reduced to
funny.
talking shit kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we see the funny AI videos, uh, and, you can dispute them and stuff, but he's also missed a lot of important meetings, I heard.
How would Baby be dead though? It just seems so
Yeah,
like he
I
would be
I
the one
agree. It doesn't make sense.
who they would not let die. I don't know. And how many strikes is Iran actually landing? Are they actually like really getting anything off over there?
Each strike, I feel, has kinda gotten weaker
Yeah.
because we've bombed so many damn targets that their combat capability is just shrinking. Um, I would say this, if there's independent, so talking about, looking things up for yourself, there are independent journalists that are way more knowledgeable than those idiots from CNN or MSNBC or Fox or whatever.
All of them, yeah.
Um, there are guys that are active duty that report on this,
Hmm.
that they put out stuff that isn't classified. And from what I'm gathering, we are hammering the hell out of them. We just landed, it was a couple days ago, a 30,000-pound bomb um, in one of their facilities. Now, a 30,000-pound bomb is pretty much the equivalent to the bomb of Hiroshima. It's just non-nuclear. It's not atomic. But it was a 30,000 pounder. I think it was a 30,000 pounder. enormous. It's on YouTube, I think, but the blast, it was huge. And we're just raining down hell on these guys, and it amazes me that they're still going. But that's what that should put a picture in your mind what kind of people this regime are. They are very radical. They know they lost. So now their mind is, I'm going to cause as much death and destruction before I go out. And
So
they
did they
don't,
I feel
surrender?
like literally
they're
one
not,
of
I
you
don't
said
think
that
they're
to me
going to
the other day.
surrender. They're
Yeah.
not going to surrender. Look, these people are, they're fanatics. It's, look at the women over there celebrating. They feel they're free. They're celebrating because they're not
They're
living this.
celebrating in Seattle.
Yeah,
Iranian women are
Iranian
celebrating.
women.
And then on the flip side, you have the blue-haired people like protesting against them. It's like you don't
It's like,
have
wait
So
a
a minute,
leg to
stupid.
stand on.
are you for feminism? Like, why are you against this? And you see these Iranian women like lighting a cigarette and burning a picture of their supreme leader with it, no hijab on, their face is showing, and they're like, screw these people, they're, they're just
Heck yeah.
happy, dude. And uh so if you were to ask me like what my opinion is, it's mixed. It's mixed. I said I got in a topic with someone that's military still. I said, what's with the oil? Like we have Venezuela because Venezuela houses the most amount of oil in the world. So
Correct, yeah.
why do we need Iran? And he said, well, it's not just the oil, but that strait is incredibly critical because anyone that goes across that strait is pretty much harassed or obliterated by the regime. And they were worried about gas spiking even more. And so they wanted to put a nail in the coffin in the regime and to stop it. Um, I guess there's other factors into this equation. Um, but is it America first?
We
That's up
just
to
don't
you.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we all kind of struggle is
I
the
don't want to get
the
too far over my skis making assumptions that Trump isn't in control of what's going on. You know what I mean? Like it's fun to joke around to an extent, but then, like what Joe said, the Iranians seem very pleased with what's going on. We haven't been at conflict that long. Like if it resolves within the next few weeks, then
I hope
I
so.
feel like that's okay, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why I'm kind of reserving my ultimate judgment because I was pissed off when he led against that operation in Venezuela. No casualties. Bad
Yeah,
guy
Yeah.
brains
Yeah.
turned into milkshakes, and we got the supreme leader. Sweet.
same. I was like, what the fuck is
So
this? And then it was over. It's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, I
Not
guess.
a
he
big
says
deal,
Yeah.
right?
turned into milkshakes.
And then
Yeah.
and then a couple months ago, one of our B-2 badass bombers bombed a facility in Iran, ended just like that. And and then the next day continued on. Nothing was going on, right? So this is different though, and it's not going to be an overnighter like those last two operations, but I don't want it to be a 20-year war like the last one
Agreed.
being.
Yeah. I mean, that's just got to be
The
bullshit
the
at that
most
point.
unnerving part is like, what's the objective? Like, what is the end game? And do we have a clear idea of what we're trying to accomplish so that we can say it's when it's over, or are we just kind of going on Trump's gut, or like what's going on exactly?
Yeah, the thing is my main concerns are I don't want to pay for Iran's reconstruction.
Yeah,
Enough of that crap. War is war. You destroy, you take the resources, and you leave. I'm so sick and tired of paying for the enemy's reconstruction. So enough of that crap. And back to the oil. Yeah, take it.
yeah.
Take it. Why not?
America first, right? Yeah,
Well, You know, like I remember people were protesting the war in Iraq. Oh, it's all for oil. I sure as hell wish it was for the oil. But why is my
Yeah, yeah.
gasoline in Southern California still close to $5 a gallon? So apparently we're
Oh,
not
it's more
getting the
than. Oh,
oil.
you mean back then? Now
Yeah,
it's
back
still more. I
then.
mean, I drove by a gas station today, 5.69. I mean, we
Yep.
also in Washington have the one of, if not the highest gas tax in
Mine's
the country.
440 right now here in
That's
Wasilla.
insane.
Yeah.
So
It's insane that Alaska is cheaper because you have to send all that oil out to get
It's because you
refined and
live in
turned
a
to
lib
gasoline
state,
and then
man.
shipped right back. Oh, I know, I know. And it's
we
taxed so high. That's what I'm just saying. It just doesn't make any sense. It's just like we lack common sense in this country so much when it comes to politics, but they don't care because they tell you that it's common sense, and then the other side starts to believe it.
well, the sad thing is the other side, they go off of their feelings rather than logic, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
the facts over feelings, baby. I'm
yeah,
gonna get that
I
so
heard a
tattooed on
bunch of
my
the tech
ass, and I'm gonna
people
show
there.
them all the time.
I heard that a lot of the tech people are losing their jobs to AI in Washington, which I imagine are
Correct.
like a lot of the rich liberal people. So it'll be interesting to see when those people become poor if the narrative maybe changes a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, well, when Biden was president, he wanted to make geez, who was it? It was like India, the star of AI. They're like, we're gonna send all of our AI stuff. We want them to be the ones that champion this, and then obviously it's not what we're trying to do anymore. But just stupid, and then you got I don't know, yeah,
yeah.
politics.
Um, I mean, so I mean, back to the resources, just take it. And that's what most people, a lot of the fake virtue signalers, that go, oh, it's for the oil. Well, why not? Do people not realize what wars used to be fought over back then? It was for land and resource. It was to
Yeah.
conquer and take. That's what war was about. It wasn't for
That's why Russia's trying to
WMDs.
take Ukraine. So
Well, that's what we elected Trump for, right? He's supposed to be the douchebag for the rest of us, right? Just go be a dick and get what we need, you know?
I like,
Well,
I don't care what he
yeah,
says as long as my damn prices drop, which
yeah.
unfortunately hasn't happened yet. And yeah, I will admit, unlike the
oh, I
vote
would say
blue.
grocery before the Iran stuff,
We're talking
groceries
about the
were
Iran
way
stuff,
cheaper for
right?
us. Yeah. But since
Yeah.
Iran, yeah, at
Yeah.
first we were getting what we voted for, and now it's a little
Well, like
sketchy.
unfortunately, like I was saying, unlike the vote blue no matter who crowd, that doesn't know how to call their own out. Like I could call Trump out on a lot of crap. Seriously. Like I'll vote for him again because I don't want Kamala in, because I don't
Well,
want
oh yeah, yeah,
AOC in,
correct.
because even though this is his last term, I don't give a damn because if someone I could just imagine, oh, well, you voted Trump. Well, that's why your son's over in Iran. Well, guess what, dumbass?
Oh, when you want
They
to
would
punch
have been
somebody,
sent to freaking Russia if Kamala was in. Like, it
yeah,
doesn't matter. It's not a left or right thing. It's just our empire is crumbling no matter who is jumping in on the seat.
Yeah.
And, it's we just need a leader that like Europe. Europe's like, no, we don't want to help. You know what? I'm sick and tired of paying more freaking money into your useless ass freaking UN and NATO shit. So, okay, you don't want to help with it, then guess what? We'll sell you the oil and we're going to tax you up the ass with it too,
Yeah.
because you decided not to freaking pull your damn weight into this. So when we take the straight and we take the oil, you can buy it off us double the friggin' price. I don't care. I've had it up
Everyone
to here
needs to
with
be
Europe.
accountable.
I'm so
yeah.
sick
I
and tired
mean,
of Europe.
we were founded on the fact of not trying to freaking live under the thumb of,
We ain't
of the
playing
UK.
games. Well, that's the most charitable read of how, and I hope it's right about what's going on with Trump and Iran. I really hope that he is just trying to plunder the resources and it's over soon and we get what he was going for out of it, but I think like that's kind of why he's got support right now is because people like you said, with Venezuela and things like that, we saw the result. We kind of have a certain amount of trust in him, but it's kind of like running out. And I hope he's not abusing our trust, basically.
I hope not either.
Yeah.
I hope not either. And trust me, I'll call him out. I'll call it out if he does.
Yeah.
Well,
Because
Joe, quick
I'm
question
not
for you then.
some partisan bootlicker. I'm all
Right.
about America, not whoever sits in the seat.
Hold on.
Well, that's what they all say about all of.
Shut up, Nick.
Go
I
ahead.
was trying to
Oh,
ask a
okay,
question.
okay. Go ahead. Yeah, you've been
Damn
waiting
it.
patiently. Go
I,
ahead.
I want to ask Joe. Okay, so as it is now, we know that no president can run for over 8 years. If Trump somehow figured that out, would you vote for him again?
Man, that's tough. And I'll tell you why it's tough, man, because
Depends on who you're voting against.
the thing is, dude, is if the liberals had their way, and let's just say Biden, who's now the one pump chump, not Trump, say Biden did 2 terms and they liked him so much. And Biden said, you know what? To hell with it. I'm going to run a third. Do you think the liberals would be screeching and hollering in anger if he did?
Nope. But no, but they will with Trump did. But I will also say that I don't believe that that's okay. I like the 8-year rule, the 2-term
I don't believe
rule.
it too. I think it's wrong. And honestly, I'm sick and tired of lifer politicians. There needs to be.
Yeah, why don't we do it with our Senate? Like,
I
that's
don't
the
think
problem
Trump.
with
I
this
think
country right
Trump's
now.
going to be too old to do another term,
I think so too.
anyways. He seems
they
like
just
he's
joke
slowing
about
down.
it.
Yeah,
He does.
is.
When he talks, he's a little bit slower. And of course, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
No, you're good. I don't care when you interrupt me, just Nick.
just me. Yeah.
Did you guys hear or see what Trump said to the Japanese prime minister?
Yep, we were just talking about that. It's hilarious. It was a
I had
zinger.
seen it, and then Joe sent it to me, and then like 5 minutes later, Nick sends it to me.
And I said, holy shit, what the fuck? He just has no filter. It's hilarious.
But I think that's why he's popular, because most people now, they want someone honest. We don't need a Gavin Newsom who
Oh my God.
who knows how to be sly with people and say the right things. So just look at California. You know, it's like,
Yeah. I mean,
it's like Escape from LA Part 2, dude. People are freaking leaving California like it's the apocalypse there.
Yeah, they're just going to tell you what you want to hear, and they're going to enrich themselves, and then they're going to try to sell it to you like they're helping you, basically.
I mean, literally, Gavin Newsom just did that by trying to tell black people that he grew up just like they did.
Yeah, that was
I'm like,
silly.
and then, yeah, and then he
The
steals
the
Trump's
left
persona.
is such a joke. They're such a joke.
It is
so
a joke.
Who
It's
are
a
they
joke.
even going to run? And that's what's unfortunate is like whoever the right runs doesn't even
Kamala
have to be
AOC.
that. Yeah, the right doesn't even have to do that much, you know, to come
I
out
don't
ahead
think
of.
they do. But the thing is, it's not, people sadly just, they're not voting based on policy. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of people vote on, well, as long as it's not Trump, or as long as it's not Marco Rubio, or
Like you said, vote blue no matter who.
yeah, vote blue.
Well,
no
that's
matter
the left,
who.
yeah.
And I'll have to admit,
yeah, for the other way, yeah.
a lot of us right wingers are like that. I'm like that, you know, in a way, because I care about my First and Second Amendment, and I'm a nationalist.
I'd probably have voted for RFK Jr. though.
I would.
I mean, not over
you know
Trump,
what?
but
That's
Right,
right.
right.
I would vote for RFK Jr. too, and he's a
when he
damn
was a
Democrat.
I think he's not anymore now though, because he
No,
says it's
no,
not
they
the
hate
same
him.
party it used to be. But he
Hold on one
tried to
second.
be before they basically like kicked him out and took away his rights to vote and all kinds of other stuff. And he had no choice but to go to the right.
Yeah, funny enough, speaking of Chuck Norris, you know, Chuck Norris, I guess, is hospitalized. That's sad, but
I didn't know that.
I saw a video I saw a
Just had to make
video
a quick hat
of
switch.
Chuck Norris where he was interviewed and someone asked him like, so are you a Republican or whatever? And Chuck Norris said, well, I used to be a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Chuck
I saw that
Norris
too.
was a Democrat. And he said, but the left moved too far to the left, and that the right, it seems like a lot of their beliefs, they shifted somewhat to the left in a way. Because if you remember, right wingers back then, like 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, they were traditional. So it was no gay marriage, no this, no that, right? Now, right wingers today are like, well, I don't agree with it, but you live your life. I don't care.
That's what we talk about on this podcast, and what I've been started. We had a discussion to be concerned about that because I don't know if Mark told you about what happened to him, where someone came after him
Who
over
knows?
some
Yeah.
bullshit. There's some trans shit, but it's like there
Came
needs to
after me
be
for something Nick said. Let's just make
something I
that
said,
clear.
but there needs to be some distinction between like what Joe just said. We'll accept you as a gay person. Like, I'm willing to accept you and love you. Like you said about Christianity, you're not a perfect person. None of us are. We all can name off a list of all of our sins.
Yep.
We think your homosexuality is a sin. However, I'm a sinner too. So I'll accept you. I may disagree. I'm not going to tell you I agree with it though. And that's
Yeah.
that's the problem where we're going to come under fire from people on the left because we won't affirm trans or homosexuality or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like if someone if someone said, well, I don't agree with you having guns, well, I'm not going to go up to you and beat the hell out of you because you're some
No, I'm
anti-Second
going to shoot
Amendment
you. No, I'm just
moron.
joking.
Yeah. Or I'm not going to shoot you. I'm not going to attack you in any way. I'm going to say, cool, that's you, but I'm going to live my life. And me owning a gun doesn't affect your life, just like you being gay. It doesn't affect my life. I don't care.
And I just want to help people, right? So if I see a trans person who seems like they're suffering because they're mentally on the wrong path or whatever, the worst thing I could do would be to turn them away. And that's the problem with that hardcore old school style Christianity and conservatism, which is like it turns people away. But I think you can still have love for those people but also like try to guide them towards what's the better way, but only out of an interest in their best interest, you know?
Right, exactly. And I was actually asked by someone, like I'm not going to say her name, but she asked me, well, what do you think of gays? Would you allow a gay in your church? And I said, well, if I allow a liar in my church, an adulterer in my church, maybe a murderer who was just released from prison in my church, even a child molester, even though I would put the murderer and the child molester in extra watch, I would have security in my church. Every sinner is able to come into my church. The reason why they're in church is because they want to turn their lives around. So who am I to push someone away from God? Because that's me working against God. If I said, no, you're out of here, get out of here, I would think God's pretty upset at me because I just worked against God by potentially I'd push this person out when he could have potentially turned his life around.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
the thing is, he may not turn straight right away, right? Okay, well, guess what? I have sins where I still feel tempted. It's when you have a walk with God of prayer and reading, you will your walk in life will be different. You will fight the temptation. You will have the tools and the spiritual help from God, that guidance to fight those homosexual temptations. And there are people that live that way. There are gay Christians who stopped, like that kind of lifestyle, and they may still have temptations, just like I'm tempted to punch someone in the mouth when I hear someone say something stupid, but I'm not going to punch them in the mouth because what kind of a representative am I going to be of the Lord, So I don't care, if you're gay, you're gay. Sweet. If you're a liberal, you're a liberal. I have a friend of the family. She's kind of a 90s post 2000s Democrat, with some TDS, but she's like a sister to me. And we had a heated debate one day, real heated, and her husband is like one of my best friends. But I felt bad for her husband because her husband was like he just sat there listening to both of us like shouting at each other. and then and then she storms off and I'm like, well, dude, I think I'm in trouble. I guess I'm gonna go right now. But she got a hold of me like 10 minutes later on the phone. She said, look, I love you. You're like a brother. And no matter our differences, we're still all family. And I said,
It's how it should be. It's definitely how
That's
it
the
should
world
be.
we need to live in and move towards.
that's exactly what it should be like. I don't care,
Yeah.
man. Just don't force your lifestyle and ideals on me. That's fascism. That's fascism. Fascism isn't handing a damn microphone to someone to give them a spot and to have a friendly debate. No, fascism is putting a bullet in that person's head or in the neck right in front of his kids because you didn't like what he had to say. That's fascism.
And the Christian thing too, like I feel like the left at this point they're to the point where it, like what I was saying earlier, if you don't conform your thinking to their thinking, it's not enough that you just be quiet. You have to agree with and restate their values back to them. Like I have to say gay is okay in order to be okay in their book. But I feel like that's the appealing part to me about conservatism and Christianity is that I can still love and I can still be open, but I don't have to agree with anybody. I don't know.
Yeah,
no, that's 100%.
No.
No, I think you ended right there on a good
No,
point
yeah,
right there.
exactly. I'm not, again, to make it clear, no, I don't agree with it. Yeah, it's a sin. It's a sin like every other sin, but it's no worse than my sins, what I'm guilty of. I'm just as guilty as anyone else,
You're also not responsible for anybody else's sins.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So,
correct. Yeah.
the difference is, are you going to walk with the Lord? That's the difference, and if you do, Jesus said, if you love me, you will obey my commands. And if you don't know what that means, it's as if, are you married, Nick?
Yes. Yep.
Do you love your wife?
Yes.
You
Would
better
you cheat on her?
say they got the right answer.
No, really. Would you cheat on her?
No.
Would you hit her?
No.
Why?
Because because it's wrong.
Yeah, but ultimately because
I
love
respect her. I love her. Yeah.
Right? So when you love, it's the same thing. If you love me, you'll obey my commands. When you have a walk and a love for God, it'll be doable to walk away from your sins and your temptations. It's the same thing.
We should all aspire to that. We should all aspire to higher,
not beat our
better
wives.
versions of ourselves. Yeah, not beating our wives. Well, just being better. But that's the thing. When you see it so obviously reflected in the values of the left, that it's just this spiral towards the bottom. Well, there is no bottom, but this spiral into like decadence. Like there's no low that's too low. They always justify the next lower thing, and I think that's part of what's pushing people back towards values. Kind of like the inverse of what they're doing is actually stable and you can build a life around it. It's just common sense at this point. Or do you want to be the guy who's like spends all day masturbating to trans porn, right? And like that kind of weird shit, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing too decadent for the left is my point,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, they just don't have a set of rules, and a lot of
Well,
us live by the rules of God in the Bible. Even people that don't even like conservatives that don't even practice Christianity, they still live by a set of rules that are basically set by the
we got to be able to
Bible.
say something's wrong, right? You have to be able to
Yeah.
draw a line somewhere to have some sort of boundaries on what's acceptable for you.
I think
And
it's because
the
we have
left
this
keeps,
ceiling.
yeah.
No, I was just gonna say we have a ceiling where it all ends with the grace of God in the Bible and the teachings from that. But like you already said, there's no bottom, and they'll keep going deeper and deeper and deeper to find a point to just go against our ceiling.
It's in the fulfillment of the self. It's in the narcissistic fulfillment of like whatever you want is the best. Whatever makes you feel happy in the moment is what's the best for you because there is no God, right?
And that's not acknowledging evil, and that's something you and I have talked about a lot before: is good versus evil. And I think
Yeah.
that it really does come down to that.
So it's more than a right versus left, left versus right thing. It is a spiritual warfare, today. And the Bible says that one day we'll return to the days of Noah, and we're we're pretty much getting there. I mean, we're not. People say, "Oh, we're worse than them," back then. No, no, it's just televised. That's all.
definitely.
Exactly, yeah.
People back then, they had no, there were people with no moral compass also. They defied God also. It's the same as today. So we pretty much are returning, to those days again. Um, but yeah, I mean it's more than left versus right. It really is.
Well, we need to have a mutual code of like, I think Mark and you and me were talking about this on the last episode of, putting someone above yourself and caring about someone besides you. It makes you trustworthy to other people because it demonstrates that like you can care for them as well. But I think like with our leaders and things like that, if they prioritize other people, or ideally if they put God first, we can all trust like that we are on the same track because we see things the same way. We all have this shared common value of like put God above all, right? But when you don't know what the priorities are and the person might be misprioritizing things because we don't know what's going on, that's what's unsettling. And they could be justifying like selfish motivations or like a conquest for their own personal glory or things like that.
Super dishonest, yeah.
Yeah, and they might feel like it's a good move. Like they might have justified, like the left does that all the time. They justify what they've done and turn it into some moral virtue. Like
Yeah.
everybody's capable of that. Like I think that's what's interesting about the Holocaust is I feel like the Nazis didn't think they were bad guys, but we've been trained to look at that as if like they're the embodiment of evil. Well, it would be that their values were misaligned, but Hitler was looking out for the interest of the German people, right? That would be what he said if you asked him, which seems noble in a sense. So it has to be, you have to have the same North Star like guiding you forward. And I think that would be like Christianity and God and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, Hitler just went about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Very, very wrong way. But there were people worse than Hitler. I mean, look at Vlad the Impaler.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was sick. Joseph Stalin killed more of his people than the enemy.
Barack Obama. I'm just joking.
Drone bombing innocent people. You mean? Yeah.
We're
and then
talking to
getting a
somebody who liked
Nobel
him,
Peace
right?
Prize for it. Yeah.
What?
We talked to somebody who liked him the other day. I can't remember who.
Who we did? What?
Yeah, I don't remember
We
who it
talked
was.
to somebody. Oh, I don't know.
I was just
Well,
shocked to hear it.
that's funny. Joe, before we move on to the wheel, which you're more than welcome to join, and see if you can put together two words. Is there any like parting words you have based on the conversation we just had?
Yeah, just I guess like if you want my 2 cents, man, I would say stay the hell away from the mainstream media. Double check your sources. PolitiFact is not one of them. Just I kind of cross check everything. So as well, I do watch clips from CNN, MSNBC, and all those other ones, but I also look at independent journalism. And I'm starting to find that independent journalism has had a spike in subscriptions and views, compared to mainstream media. So I would say just, I promote, individual investigative work. Form your own opinion. Don't let Hollywood morons do it for you. And yeah.
100%.
Agreed. And that was like a really good conversation. I want to have Joe come back on soon because I feel like we're getting a good chemistry going
Yeah.
on here.
Gotta say, Joe, you did such a freaking great job because when Nick and I first started, we were telling each other like we can't stop smiling because we know we're being recorded, and we're like giddy. And then you come in and you were masterful and you're a great storyteller.
Yeah, that was the best.
Super enjoyable.
Yeah, it's fun.
All right. Well, like I said, you're welcome to stay for the wheel, but that's up to you.
Let's see the wheel, man. I'll watch the wheel.
You want to see the wheel? You want to give it a shot? All right.
Mark's got to go drag it out.
I love the freaking AI video.
Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. That was my first AI video. I can't believe it.
All right, folks, let's spin the wheel of whatever. Spin the free wheel. Let's put our small talk skill to the test. It's the whatever wheel. Whatever we'll talk about next.
So,
give it a spin.
Let's give it a spin. Fighting.
Always.
It's so great that Joe's on here for this one. And
no way.
Creativity. I just put those on today.
Didn't that happen last time too? It seems like whenever you write new ones, it always picks it.
I know. We've got ones that have been on there forever. So hey, fighting and creativity. I think this is great. These are great words.
So Mark told me, so you do drone work too.
Yeah.
So what do you fly?
Well, I was flying this one until I crashed it. I was flying a DJI Mini 5 Pro, but I have to fix it now. My other one's a Mavic Air 2, I think.
Oh man, is that nice? Is the Mavic 2 nice?
It's pretty good, yeah. I had to go back to flying it after I crashed the other one. It's this guy. It's pretty beefy comparatively, but yeah, I think it's pretty good.
What
do you got?
So creativity. So I mean, videoing.
Yeah, it was supposed to combine with fighting. So now.
Oh, what's that one?
What do you got? The Avata 2.
Oh, nice. How's that one?
It's the FPV.
Oh, you're flying the FPV drones. Got it.
I have to do FPV or it's nothing. Like ever since I went FPV, I can't do anything else. But even though I want to get the Air 3, I do want, or not the Air. Yeah, I want to get the Air 3. But like Mark, you saw some of I uploaded another one today.
Oh, nice.
But with the whole creativity, I'm doing like drone virtual tours. I'm starting to do real estate as well.
Oh, really? Well, that's kind of my wheelhouse. So we could.
There you go.
That's that.
Dude, and this is the guy you want to talk to. You need advice. Yeah.
And I would definitely want your critique. Do you have an Instagram or?
Yeah, add him on my Instagram.
I think I've sent it to you before.
So
I think it's private right now, though.
The very first video I uploaded, I did a a virtual home tour for a real estate agent, and it was kind of like my very first project ever done, and I made it to where it was seamless, as in no cuts, as
And
in
you
I
flew through the house?
yeah, so I wanted to make it as if someone's in the house, you know, looking in every direction. And I don't know what your opinion on that is. Like I sometimes I feel like, you know, if someone doesn't want to spend $2,000 on a plane ticket just to go home, um, you know, home surfing, uh, you know, th- I would think that someone wants to feel like they're in the home and walking
Mhm.
in it rather than having cuts and snapshots.
I mean, I have definitely had people ask me for that. I had someone send me um, an example of that in a house up here that was a fly through tour, and it did that. It went all over the house,
Nick,
and
you
they're like,
fly through the house with a drone. You don't have like a camera on a stabilizer, or
"I have a gimbal. I don't fly through. I would not be
yeah.
confident to fly
Okay.
through the house. That's a little beyond me.
Oh, really? Oh
I don't.
man,
I mean,
that's
I've never done FPV before, so I would need to practice for sure.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. Yeah,
Well,
I
Joe,
just
if you're
flew
gonna get
through it.
into real estate photography, I think it'd be cool if you just also got into regular photography. That way, you can use a regular camera and your drones, and kind of
Sell a
producing the same
package
stuff
is
that
yeah,
Nick
selling
does.
a package will I think would be the way to go, because if you do, and the pictures are not, it's not like that tough to learn how to do those pictures to put them along with your video, but your video would be like the main, like, selling
Right.
point, I think.
Yeah, you'll have to go look at some of his stuff because it's phenomenal, and the houses are selling, and the real estate agents are using
Yeah,
him over
the
and over
last one we
again.
did was like one of the top priced, like it had sat on the market for a long time with a different realtor that had just done pictures, and we went out there for 2.5 million is quite a bit for up here. It was a $2.5 million house in Kenai. You know, it would take a special buyer for that just because it's not in Anchorage or anything like that. And we
Right.
did a really nice video for it with the realtor doing a little talking, and it sold within like a month. So it
Now,
was definitely that. Yeah,
and just one more question. I'm trying not to take it up.
that's all good.
If what should I so I had a couple real estate agents contact me because, you know, Aunt Chris, Mark, I have an aunt
Hmm.
that's a real estate agent and she's brought me up to a few of them and they asked me, "Well, what do you charge?" And I was like, I was stumped. I was like, "Oh man." Like,
Yeah.
Well, we can't let Nick give his secrets out on probably the
Well, I
public
will say
forum, but
I just had the same thing happen to me where a lady's been pressing me to do she wants video specifically, and usually I do photos plus videos, and I was like, I don't really know, but I did end up coming up with like a price sheet for videos, and I could definitely share that with you. I
yeah,
just sent
I
it
would
to her.
definitely, yeah, that
Yeah,
would be cool.
for
nice.
sure.
Well, I want to rope it back to the purpose of the wheel,
Mark
which
wants
is
to
to
get back to
combine
the fighting.
creativity and
Yeah.
fighting.
Sorry.
Well, I know Joe's got a lot to offer on that. The first thing I think of is just some of the greatest Jean-Claude Van Damme movies that we'd watch. I mean, that's
Oh,
creative. Nick's
there
on
you go.
that train as well.
Just watched what was it, Kickboxer?
Oh
Yeah, did he, is
man.
yeah,
Just
so
showed it
good,
to my
so
Thai
good.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
who
realize
was
it was
like,
all
this
filmed in
is,
Thailand. No, she liked it,
but
but she was like, "This is
she
not Muay Thai." It's
because
like
also
rolling
did she say
around and stuff.
they're all like Hong Kong actors?
No, I found that out. She's like, "I don't
Uh,
recognize any of these Thai people." I looked up the cast, and it was like somebody from Hong Kong, somebody from the Philippines that was raised in California. I was like, "Yeah, there's no Thai actors in here."
That's cool. Your wife is Thai?
Yeah, yeah.
That's great. Yeah, because I mean, in terms of fighting, I love watching Thai kickboxing matches. I absolutely like the real deal. And some of the greatest I usually watch like the better Thai kickboxers, you know, Sanchai and freaking, you know, there's like a few guys and dude, those guys are freaking warriors, man. They hit like
Agreed.
dump trucks.
Made me laugh because Nick had a great point at the end of Kickboxer when he's fighting Tong Po. He's like, he's like not fighting Muay Thai anymore. You know, he's just like, but it's like because it's like you're fighting for your life
Well,
and
he's
your
chasing him
family
with
or
a
whatever.
spear, trying to stab him. Yeah.
It's
You're
just
like, all right.
Was this in the rules?
Yeah.
And then we start talking about the funny faces that Jean-Claude Van Damme makes and before he does stuff. And I thought of the blood sport one where he's like, he goes blind for a second. He's like, ah.
Dude, he really gives it 110% in the acting place. Yeah.
Oh, so good. And
That
then he
I think
offered to fight Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I was like, "No, man." Like, no.
He just wants that paycheck.
Yeah, obviously.
I love yeah, I love him. He's great.
Honestly, my favorite Van Damme movie was The Quest. Still
Oh,
is
it's so
to
good.
this day.
So good. Have you
He
seen that one,
directed
Nick?
that one.
Huh?
No.
Jean-Claude Van Damme directed that. That was his first movie he directed. So
Wow,
he really is
really?
a pretty artistic dude, yeah.
So, Joe,
That was
another
one of
thing you
my
might not know
favorites
is
of all time.
Nick's background is very heavy in movies and film.
Oh yeah, I went to school for
Yeah.
video production. I think that's why me and Eric got along so well, because he was like
Did Eric-
hardcore.
Did Eric tell you about our Robin Hood play?
Yeah. No.
Oh man. Dude, so Eric was Robin Hood. They made me the sheriff because every play I was in, like I guess I looked like a natural asshole.
Yeah.
So I was
My
always a
entire
bad
life, I
guy
can agree with
or
that.
a jock. And Stephen Hatfield was Little John. And we choreographed our last fight as like swords with martial arts in it. And like I remember the people were like totally digging it.
You're floored by the creativity.
Heck yeah.
Well, Eric's
dude,
a martial artist, right?
Huh?
Eric does martial arts, doesn't he?
Yeah, I remember he used to do that stuff too. Oh yeah.
Did they used to go? Nick, do you remember the wooden gated dojo my dad made down the hill?
Yes.
I don't know if you remember.
His
Yeah, so there's a
Oh,
video.
obstacle course stuff.
Dude,
What?
when the
The
UFC
obstacle course. Yeah.
when the UFC, like I remember when Ultimate Fighting Championship was like new and VHS was still a thing. And I
was like
remember
Kimbo
like,
Slice.
the Black Belt magazine. I was like, "Well, Dad, have you ever heard of the UFC?" And he's like, "No, what's that?" And I told him about it. And I was like, "Look at this." He's like, "Oh, we definitely have to order this." So we ordered UFC 7, via snail mail back in the day where
Dude,
you would
there's
have
so
to
many
wait
now. That's crazy.
for like 3
crap.
weeks for it to come
In Alaska. Yeah.
Yeah, in Alaska. And when we watched that, like when UFC 7, this is when the only 2 rules they had was no biting and no eye gouging.
I've
That
seen
was
those
it.
videos. They're crazy.
That was it. You could hit in the nuts. You could kick them when they're down. You could stomp on them. And when I saw that, I was like, holy crap. And then I invited Nick and Stephen Hatfield and freaking a few other guys, and we would
Did you mean
watch
Eric,
it.
not Nick?
Huh?
So you met
Did
Eric.
you mean Eric, not Nick?
Or Eric, yeah, Eric, Stephen Hatfield, like a few other dudes. I forgot their names. And then we would watch this and we're like, let's go in the backyard. And dude, we would go in the back.
Dude, it's us guys.
And we would beat the shit out of each other. And then we would show up to school with a black eye, a cut, a bruise or 2. And they're like,
That's
we
so funny.
made freaking Fight Club before it was Fight Club, dude.
You guys made movies where you'd break sticks whenever you kick someone in the face, so it sounded like you snapped their neck.
Oh, that's pretty creative.
Yeah, because we replayed a part in Double Impact. So of course
Jean-Claude
I
Van
was Van
Damme.
Damme because I was able to like kick above people's heads. I was Van Damme. Steven played as Bolo Young because he was a pretty big dude back then. And, I remember he did the part where he grabbed a barrel and, you know,
And his
the
short
end
arms.
yeah, and he picked that barrel up and he threw it at me, and then I threw, like, a sidekick up in the air, kicking the barrel back, and, like, we replayed it, like, shot for shot, where and we're like
Uh, It's so good. I
Do you
love
feel
that.
like the
It's
kids
funny.
these days are coming back to like, because I feel like kids these days are kind of soft, but it seems like there's also young people that are starting to become like tough again. Does it seem like they're starting to get tough again?
I think so. I think,
Have to be. You
again,
have to.
like, there's again, there's, like, another climb, you know, a gain of, like, again, young boys, like, in church attendance,
Yeah.
and now going to the gym, getting jacked,
Yeah, I've been seeing them there.
and just being dudes, and, like
Yeah.
like, my sons, if you meet them, like, they'll tell you, "Dude, like, yeah, we used to sit with my dad and watch Bloodsport or freaking Chuck Norris movies or Rambo and stuff like that, you know, and guess what? They grew up to be just like that. You know, they love those old ass cheesy 80 flicks, you know, Terminator and all that. Um, and
Well, I'm glad we're getting back to that.
and then they know people on the ship, you know, guys that are they're the same way. You know, a lot of people think, oh, the military is gone like woke and all that. Yeah, somewhat, but I think there's also a lot of youngsters that I'm sounding 70. I think there's a lot of, younger, like, recruits and, new joins that, you know, they're just dudes that wanna go to the gym, get jacked, and freaking, you know, get in a bar fight, you know, you know, instead of, "Oh, let's make a TikTok," you know, and, what a joke, man.
What was scary there for a while, it seemed like it was all the kids were like just getting so soft, and it's like, what's gonna happen? It was only a couple years though. It seems like we're moving back in the other direction, like you said.
I think a large portion of it was due to COVID. So everybody was stuck in a house for how many years? Everyone was stuck in a home. No one went outside. I spoke to a child, uh, like some sort of a therapist, where she was gripping a kid's hand strength, and I said, "Really, that's a thing? Why is that?" And she said, "Well, we found that grip strength has gotten a lot weaker in the last several years." And I said, "Why is that?" And she said, "Well, interestingly enough, it kind of started during COVID because no one would go outside and play in the freaking swinging
No.
bars
Yep.
and
You're not playing sports. You're not swinging
yep, no one's
sticks.
playing
You're playing
sports.
video games.
Yep." And I was like, "Wow!" Like I didn't think of that, you know. And it's like COVID really screwed us up. It really screwed us up. And but I do think that there's like a spike. You know, I think people are also tired of it. People are sick and
Mhm.
tired of the wokeness. You know, the demonization, the demonizing of masculinity,
Masculinity,
and
yeah.
like people are just fed up with it. And so, yeah, people are getting back to getting jacked and freaking, you know, masculinity and you know, they preach about toxic masculinity when it's just masculinity, but do you think maybe it's toxic feminism, you
Well,
know?
it's
Oh, for
unsustainable
sure.
for
Yeah.
guys to be just feeling bad about themselves all the time. It's bad for women too. Like,
Yeah.
who are you gonna be with? Who's gonna
No,
protect
imagine
you?
what happens when you flip the roles. It's not gonna be good.
No. And you
Yeah, I mean,
demoralize men. Don't let them be men.
yeah. Like my wife, I think she would call me out, you know, she would just say, "You're acting like a little bitch right now," you know?
Mm,
Go out,
She would, yeah.
go to the gym, freaking, you know, which is what
yeah.
I'm lacking. I haven't been working out at all anymore,
Well,
and,
also
like
just to follow up on that, Joe is also a body or was a bodybuilder for a
I
while
didn't
with
know that.
a one-leg bodybuilder. He looked like freaking Sylvester Stallone and Ants.
Just
just like
monster.
huge, like V-shaped, especially with
Yeah.
one leg.
Now
No
I'm
muscle on that
45.
one.
45, sporting the dad bod.
You don't have a dad bod.
Oh,
Saw you in June. You're fine. Dude, one time I was visiting them in North Carolina for Thanksgiving, and I was drinking. As Nick likes to point out, a lot of my good stories are when I'm drinking. I don't know, I said something obnoxious to Joe, and he put me in a chokehold, not thinking how
Oh,
fucking
shit.
strong he is. And the next day, my freaking throat was bruised.
whatever. It wasn't. I didn't do that, dude.
Like you got in a
He did that.
domestic
He did that.
dispute.
No, it was a joke. It was more for fun,
No.
but he doesn't realize how strong he freaking is, and his muscles are huge, and he's just like collapsing my jugular. Good times.
Well, creativity and fighting. I feel like we got some creativity in there with the.
We
I didn't know
did.
they were
Well, the film.
choreographing fight scenes. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Drones too, man. Hey, that takes a lot of creativity
Yeah, but
too.
well, I guess drones do fight. We just didn't, connect them.
No,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
drones
like-
are used for warfare. Yeah.
Like video editing. Like now I know why drone pilots, when they do real estate, why they get paid so much, because editing takes
Is a
all
bitch.
day, dude. It is a
Yep.
pain in the friggin' neck.
Yep, that's
Well,
what
I
I'm
think you
running
guys will
into
be
now.
able to. Yeah, Joe, you'll be able to talk with Nick a little bit more about getting some of the pointers on how to do some of that stuff. And I think that's really
I
cool.
would love some feedback or something. Yeah.
For sure. For sure. For sure. Yep.
All right, well, I gotta pee and I gotta feed the kids.
My wife just called me, so I'm about to be in a fight if I keep being creative over here and ignoring my wife. So
She'll
good chat with
leg
you guys.
she'll leg
So
kick
good,
you.
Joe.
No shit. Yeah. Muay
It's
Thai
gonna
me.
Muay Thai. Joe, thank you so much for coming on. This was a ton of fun. I definitely know we're gonna do it again. But
Yeah,
for
it was
now,
great.
Thank you, and
Incredible
we'll talk
stories.
again soon. Yeah,
Thank you,
amazing
guys.
stories. You're
It
a
was a
great
pleasure.
storyteller.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
We really appreciate it as well.
I appreciate it. Yeah. All right. All right. We'll see you guys.
All right, peace, guys.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Bye.